You can come into this room where goodness flows. Fill your cup till it overflows. You will find just what you need to make it through. Loud joy, hope, and healing. Morning tea with goodness. Hey, morning tea with goodness. Morning tea with goodness.
Hello, family. This is Olaundra with Old Destiny Productions, and welcome to Morning Tea with Goodness podcast, the place where we share all things goodness that will help you be well spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So, I hope you got your cup because I definitely got the tea with goodness. Y'all, I am so excited about my guests on today. I have some very special people in the room of goodness, and we're going to talk about the chapters of love. Welcome, the Wright family. What's going on, sister, bro? We have the one and only Miss Shayla Wright and Mr. 𝐂𝐤𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐨 Wright. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Y'all, they're newlyweds. How many months are we in?
Two months.
How has it been? 2 months.
2 months.
Good.
It's been good?
Yes.
Y'all doing good?
Great.
Y'all look good?
Yeah.
Y'all look blessed
And we are.
and highly favored.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive into where we are now, I wanna go back, if that's all right with y'all.
Okay.
I wanna go back to the chapter where, you guys are both been married before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so to that chapter where you both were married, but then divorced.
Yes.
Whatever happened, it happened, and you tried, but it couldn't work. Let's talk about it. What was that like for you, both of you guys? Whoever wants to go first.
Well, me, I divorced well before Wright did, back in 2009. And it was not easy. At the time, I had 2 young girls, a whole bunch of college credits, a little job. That was about it. I was married to a soldier, so,
Yeah.
that's what I was depending on.
Talk about it.
So, it wasn't easy, but God is really all that I can say, because I know that it was only Him that brought me to where I am today, not just in life, not just in Him, but also as now a new wife. So I know it was all Him. And the journey was well worth it to be where I am today.
That's
So,
good.
yeah.
How about you, Mr. 𝐂𝐤? Let's talk about that experience for you.
I'll say they're probably one of the worst decisions that I had to make. Being that, having a covenant with God, growing up, my mother taught me, no matter what, you always try to save your marriage.
Don't divorce.
Yes. Yeah. And, growing up like that being instilled in you, then you're feeling like you're a failure. And I didn't want to be a failure. I was an active duty soldier throughout my whole marriage. And, the thought of my kids being on another side of the country while I'm on this side of the country, I couldn't bear that. So I tried to hold on to the marriage and make it work.
How long were you married?
26 years. So I got
26
married. Yes.
years?
26 years. And I got married young. We got married young. We had to learn how to be parents and husband and wife. But my better half probably felt that she missed out on a lot, being married young. She felt that she missed out on a lot. And at times I felt like I did the same thing, but hey, I accepted the fact that I was a husband and a father, so that's my responsibility. So I lived up to those responsibilities. But you can't be in a marriage by yourself.
That's right.
And you can't make nobody love you. You can't make nobody love you. If they don't love you, they just don't love you. That's the worst thing you can do. And I would tell anybody, don't try to make nobody love you that don't love you. Because you're going to end up being hurt over and over and over again. For years, I was hurt over and over again.
In the marriage.
While in the marriage. But I'm still listening to my mother saying, hey, stay in your marriage, because that's what they did. No matter what, they stayed in the marriage,
So what was the? Okay, go ahead.
Infidelities, they stayed in the marriage. Physical abuse, they stayed in the marriage. I would tell no one, if those things are going on and you're not getting them respect, is that you only hurt yourself and those kids in that marriage also. So you're doing damage on both sides. So.
What was the turning point for you, 𝐂𝐤, that decided, you know what, it's time?
I think one day I was looking at myself in the mirror in the bathroom, and I constantly was going back and forth to the hospital, just stressed out. Hair was falling out, and one day my oldest son told me, he said, "Dad, this is toxic." And he told me that the marriage was toxic.
Your child told you
My child told me that. You know, I knew right then I had to make a decision for myself.
Yeah.
And at that time, my kids were grown now. So I was like, hey, they're not little kids no more. What are you around for? You know, things are not going to change. You know, constant infidelity going on. And I mean, hey, the respect wasn't there no more for me, you know. And I was constantly being reminded every day, I don't love you. I don't want you. It was like being tortured, you know, just being tortured by the person you thought was supposed to be there for you, but you was being tortured by them, you know. And I had to make that decision. Hey, my mother's not here no more to tell me, hey, you need to save your marriage. She's dead and gone. I was like, hey, your kids are growing. What about you? And that's when I had to make that tough decision. Hey, look,
It's time.
because I was alone in the marriage anyway for a long time, for years.
Married and alone.
Married and alone, you know. I'm there. We live in two separate lives. I would see her maybe a week out of the month, you know, and she be gone. I don't know where she at. Family members call, want to know where she at because they can't get in contact with her. I was like, hey, your guess is good as mine. I don't know where she's at, you know. Constantly worrying, you know, hey, my car may come back and dents all in the car, key scratches. It was a lot. It was a lot going through that.
And how long were you married, Shayla, before?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
So 10 and 20.
26.
Ooh, y'all bring a lot to the table. So moving forward, because you guys just said a whole lot, let's go to the next chapter. So after divorce, was it difficult for you guys to date again? And because you just said you had infidelity going on, you had trust, you had a lot of things that you had already dealt with.
Yeah.
So was it difficult for you to even embrace the thought, okay, can I date again?
Well, like I told you, I was alone while I was married. So for years, I finally came to the conclusion that the marriage is over. But you know, you have to prepare yourself. You can't just make a decision, hey, I'm getting divorced. The next day you're out, you know, when you got property together, finances, bills and stuff together. So you got to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So when we decided the marriage was over, and you know, the state of Georgia, probably one of the only states that have let you be separated in the same household. Okay. You know, so that was what's going on. We were separated, but we lived in the same house. And it took a while to trust people. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm still going through it. You know, even now. You're
still healing.
Still healing. You know, I
talk
still
about that.
have trust issues, which I know my wife is two different personalities.
Come on now.
Two different spirits. You know, but it's like having not only a wartime PTSD, you know, you're having PTSD from abusive relationships also. So, and I'm still going through it.
You're still going through it. Yeah. How about you, Shayla? What was that, you know, was it hard for you to embrace dating again? What did that look like for you? Were you having issues with trust and whatever that, you know, came with it?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I think the main thing for me was, though, I mean, you know, being a woman, remember I said I got 2 girls.
That's right.
So first and foremost, you just don't want any and everybody around them. But then there was the girl, who gonna want you with all these children?
Come on, say.
You know,
that's
so
the thoughts of so many other women.
Right. And then again too, like I said, I was, in a relationship where the husband was the breadwinner and the provider and stuff. And then I, had to turn around and be that. And I think as women will say, well, we want this and we want that in a guy or whatever, and to do this, and we can't provide the same.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, you know what? Forget about a dude. I'm going to chase everything I need to chase for me and these girls, and I'm going to be able to do all those things on my own. Mm-hmm. So, for a while I was like, okay, I ain't trying to date nobody again, because all the doubt, girl, ain't nobody going to want you with these kids no way. You getting older or whatever. And by this time, I had joined the military myself, so I was like, I need to do what I can do so I can be all I can be for them and for myself, which, might I add, was the best thing that I did, was join that man's army. Yeah, because it definitely taught me a lot about myself, and I just became a stronger individual.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
from
love
that.
it. Okay. So let's fast forward. Let's go to the chapter meeting Shayla Walden and meeting 𝐂𝐤𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐨𝐧 Wright. Let's go to that chapter. How did you guys meet? Let's talk about it.
We actually, for years, me and Shayla ran in the same circle but just didn't know each other.
Don't it always happen like that?
And
around the corner.
I seen it, that it had to be God, because if I had met her years before, I wasn't ready.
You wouldn't be ready.
I wasn't ready,
Yeah.
and it's probably the same her, So we had a mutual friend, Jackie Brown, and being a contractor, she's actually one of my sponsors for the GS. She's a GS, and she's one of the sponsors.
Shout out to Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jackie and I had a mutual friend. Her brother and I served in the Army together. His name is Enoy Allen. And he told me when I was in Kuwait, we was at the embassy, he said, look, when you get back to Georgia, you got to look up my sister. I said, who's your sister? Jackie Brown. You make sure you look her up. Okay. Introduce herself to her. And just, she's a good person. She said, hey, I trust her with my life, and I'm trusting you with her. Mm-hmm. And I said, when I get back, but when I came back, like I told you, I had so much things going on. With the bad marriage, trying to get my kids in school, buy a house. Already had my oldest son was already back here going to Georgia Southern. Okay. And it just completely slipped my mind about Jackie. And that was probably about, 6 years before I even met Shayla. So all those years. So one day I was talking to my COR, who was Jackie. And we was talking, and I was telling her, hey, she's like, I got someone I want you to meet. Okay, now. And I was like, well, Jack, I ain't up to beating the back. Cause I don't believe in matchmaking, And, so she's like, well, I want you to meet this person. I think y'all would be a good fit just to talk, to have a friend. And I said, well, okay. And she called Shayla up. But before she called Shayla, she told me that she has 4 daughters. And when she said 4 daughters, my eyes was like, and so she said, no, but they don't need you to be the dad. She got they got good fathers, and I said, okay, I'm not going, shut her away because
You told.
Oh yeah, I told her to say that. I was like, because I was.
You was keeping it real. That's
girls,
right. Yeah. Like, hey, full package.
Yeah.
Right, and like I said, at that point, we weren't looking for a father for them. They have great fathers. So, I told her, I said, now let them know. I said, you got to let them know up front now, Miss Jackie, because, I don't want nobody to think, we trying to just come up.
That's right.
And I'm trying to find these kids stepdaddy like that. Yeah. And so, when she told me, she said, we were at a meeting. She and I are in the same organization. That's how I know her. And, she said, I got somebody I want you to meet. I was like, okay. I was like, well, let me see him. She was like, they about to call the meeting to order. I was like, Miss Jackie, she was like, just wait there after the meeting. I'm going to show you the pictures. I was like, come on, Miss Jackie, show me. Let me see him now. So she shows me the pictures or whatever. And I was like, Miss Jackie, why you ain't been introduced me?
So you were physically attracted to him?
Yes, I was.
Come on,
and
talk
right there,
about
have all this hair. He had some little curly hair on his head. or whatever. And I was like, Miss Jackie, why you ain't been introducing me to this man? You know, she was like, girl, the meeting about to start now. You know, I'll talk to you afterwards. So I could not wait for that. I was just so disengaged and unfocused about what the meeting was about because, baby, I was trying to meet this man. You know, and
She saw something.
I did. So after the meeting, you know, we talked or whatever. She was like, now he's out of town right now. She was like, because it's his birthday or whatever. She was like, but as soon as he get back to the office, I'm going to call you and I'm going to let y'all, you know.
I think I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Las Vegas, okay.
And let y'all talk. And so that's what happened. It was like a Monday, November 6th. And she called me. We were all working on Fort Gordon.
Okay.
At the time, Fort Gordon. And she called me from her phone and put him on the phone. And we talked and exchanged numbers. And
we met at a mutual friend house. Actually, one of my high school friends.
So let's talk about the day y'all met.
Let me tell it.
They both got two different stories, y'all.
So you know, he was teaching, of course, but he was teaching the students in the evening. So Wright didn't get out to 12 at night. And I'm asleep, you know, because I got to, you know, I work during the day. With the soldiers and their families. And so we were like, we're going to meet. I was like, well, hey, you know, Sunday I'm leaving. I'm going to temporary duty at Fort Hood. So, you know, if you want to meet me, it's going to have to be before then. I'm going to be gone by 3 weeks or whatever. So he was like, okay. And so we was kind of piddly-padding around because I was like, you can come to my house. I don't know you like that. I got these girls over here.
That's
you get
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
I don't
right.
know you. You
That's
look
right.
good now. And Miss Jackie said you somebody.
But I'm mama.
Right.
I'm
I don't
mama.
know you like that.
That's right.
And him the same way or whatever. He didn't even have nobody at the house. But, you know, he was like, well, I tell you what. A friend of mine having a little kickback at the house. And this Saturday night, I'm like, bruh, I got to be to the airport at 5:25. I'm leaving. You know, he was like, well, you know, we ain't going to be long. You know, just come by and say hello and things like that. So I was like, okay, cool. So I get over there and I meet the people or whatever who own the house and everybody else. I meet all these people. And so they have this theater room in their home. Yeah. So the wife, Monica, she's like, shout out to Monica and Sherrod Williams as well.
All right.
Because that was our first date,
encounter.
I guess you want to say. Yeah.
Okay.
So they was like, y'all go in the theater room. So because all these people around here, you know, so y'all can talk. So we went in there, it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And we talk and talk. And I asked Wright, that was one of the first questions I asked him, did he want to be married again? You know.
So you asked that right off the cuff.
I did, because by this time,
let's talk about it.
I had been on the dating sites, apps, you know what I'm saying?
Really, Shayla?
Girl, that's how I met Jansen.
Really?
Black Planet.
Yeah, that's how I met them twins.
I've been too scared to go on the dating site.
It is, no lie. That's how I met him.
Wow. And he happened to be here in Augusta.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, but anyway, so I had tried all that. Hey, and by this time I was like, hey man, bruh, I'm sick of it. If it don't work, I'm gonna get me a girlfriend. I'm gonna get me a girlfriend to be done.
Y'all heard it from Shayla, y'all.
Hey.
Okay.
They love their people.
Keeping it real.
You know, so I was like, I ain't doing it no more. But I knew if Jackie Brown introduced me to somebody, he must be somebody. Because like anybody that knows Jackie Brown, y'all know business. Okay. Professional. Love God, love her family, don't even play. You know, that's just the type. You know, yeah. She was the first sergeant in the Army, and she was subbing. Yeah. You know, so I knew she was serious and about business. So I was like, if she introduced me to a man, this ain't somebody that play no games.
So now you meet him, you see him.
Meet him. Get there by 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. Go to the movie room. We talking, y'all. We talking. We look, y'all. It's 3:30 a.m.
Y'all in the movie room for how long? Y'all talking from 8 p.m. to
5 hours, 6 hours.
Right. It's 3:30.
Nothing was going on but talking.
I was like, oh my God. And thankfully, a good soldier, I had already packed. So the duffels was ready to go.
Okay.
You know, my cousin was coming to pick me up to take me to the airport. But it's 3:30. I was like, oh Lord. We walked downstairs. Y'all ain't nobody down there.
They left y'all upstairs.
Right. So I
They-
said,
yeah, they was
you
in
got to
bed.
call your friend. Ask these people why they didn't come get
They put
us.
the alarm on
They in the
already.
bed.
They know we was there though.
They
Yeah.
know y'all was there.
Yeah.
So,
So he had to wake them up so they could let us out so the alarm wouldn't go off.
yeah.
You know, yeah, it's like 22 degrees
Oh,
outside.
they knew what they was doing.
So I had to,
Yeah.
you know, she was going away for 3 weeks. So I had to make sure, you know, see what her head was about, you know, see what she
So you had to go ahead, like,
Yeah.
let me see what this.
But the first question she asked me was, do you ever want to get married again? And it kind of hit me by surprise, but it was a question that I already knew the answer to, you know, meaning I did want to get married again. I want to share my life with someone. You know, you don't want to be alone. You know, you want to be able to share those things that you love to do with somebody, you know. And I told her, yeah, one day I do want to get married again, but not now. You know, I told her, yeah, not now. So it took us a while.
But you want to know where his head was, like
Yeah.
right off. Let's go ahead and keep it real.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just want to play the field or, you know, and
Right.
And I know I did that, you know, I wasn't. And then because like I told you, I was already still alone in the marriage for a long time. So I had a chance to get my thoughts together also.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to be alone. I'm tired of being alone. You know, I'm tired of going to bed by
How
myself.
old were you then?
Waking up. I was actually, 44, 45, 45, 44,
46. Okay.
46. No, I wasn't
20, you turned 47.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, 46. Yeah. And it was different, you know. I knew right there, I was like, man, she's smart. You know,
So she left. She got
she
on
left.
the plane.
Yeah.
You just met her. Just hours
Yeah.
later, what were you feeling? Were you feeling something for Shayla in that moment?
At that moment, I was like, hey, she got a good head on my shoulders, you know. And I was, hey, maybe I'm gonna stay in contact with her. I don't know. When did we talk? We talked again when probably about a day or so after.
Yeah.
Yeah. She called me. I think she called. No, I called her to see if she got there safe.
Right.
And then I think she sent me a picture while she was on the plane.
Picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and we talked, and then I think when she got back after about 3 weeks, I think I just got my hair. The same friend house we was at, she just twisted my hair because I was gonna cut my hair off. I got tired of my hair, and she said, "Let me try twisting it for you." And he cut my hair in a style, I think the 𝐂𝐤𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐴 style from Black Panther. And she came back, she didn't know who, you know, she's like, wow, you did that to your hair? You know, I was like, yeah. I said, you like it? She's like, yeah, I like it, you know. And she said, I liked it in curly hair first, you know, better, but I kept this, and I think the dreadlocks were part of our lifestyle after that. You know? So,
Yes, because she looked pretty with her
Yeah.
locks now,
Thank
looking
you.
pretty.
yeah.
So let's go to the chapter of, I think she's the one, or, you know what, this possibly could be my husband. When did you know? When did you know? What was it?
The way I would have to say, the way he remember by this I got 4 girls.
4 girls, that's right.
Or whatever. One was in the Army, one still in high school, and the twins. And just the way when they finally met him, they didn't meet him. You know what I'm saying? Like I had one that was kind of like,
Oh, I know which one that is.
Okay, and where you going? Okay, then. Well, she need to be back by
11
you know,
o'clock.
right.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
But just how they fell for him. The girls, all 4 of them, you know, they was like,
That's what won you over.
right. They love Mr. Wright, and that's how I knew Mr. Wright was Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright was Mr. Wright.
Yeah, they did, and each weekend, where each event, we again, same people, good, not just people, God lovers, God chasers. So it wasn't just our friends that we had a good time with, you know, or whatever. These were real people that had hearts for God.
Yeah.
He knew them, I knew him. Too, you get what I'm saying? And so when I saw that, I was like, man, he know them. Them good folks.
Them good folks.
You know, or whatever. And he, same thing with him. How long you been? Man, I've been knowing we used to be in ministry together. Or whatever it was. Just those encounters when we start seeing we had so many people in common, good people in common, friends, people that we could really call on, that I have called on, that he has called on in the time of need, in the time of trouble. You know, I was like, okay, you know, we already family.
Okay.
You know.
So you felt that, okay, this is safe. This is safe.
Right, yeah. And then I kind of stole him away. He was in church. He was, you know, at his own place of worship or whatever. And I kind of he started coming with me, which I only had 3 real relationships in my life, for real, or whatever.
Yeah.
But even
we had some counterfeits,
Oh yeah, frogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nobody ever would want to come to church.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then not just come to church because I want you to come, but because you had your own relationship anyway.
There we go.
So that was, you know, I knew then, you know, and then he was already first to do everything, and that prayer thing, you know what I'm saying? Not, you know, trying to make him like he was some supreme, but
and I like
he was already doing that.
Because, you know, people can say, yeah, he go to church or she go to church, but we know there's a lot of
Yeah.
wolves out there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know, cry church all day.
Yeah.
But completely someone else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I grew up in the church, so
Okay.
I grew up in an apostolic faith.
Really?
Yeah, you know, they're strict in apostolic faith. You chew gum, you're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? It was strict. So we went to church 7 days a week, you know, and I remember one time I told my mother, I was a little boy. My sister always would get on me and like, you need to start thinking before you say things, because mom gonna beat your butt, you know. And I remember one day I was just tired of going to church, and I told my mother I was ready to go to hell. And my mother like, what? Oh man, that was a butt whipping. But I thank God that she raised me in church, because I did stray away after I got in the army, you know. But like the word said, if you raise a child the way they go, they may stray away, but they'll come back.
That's
and
right.
I did. I went back and I found my own church, but I knew the word for myself too. So.
Had a relationship with him. Okay.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah.
how
did you know? Shayla want to know.
Shayla with the one.
Shayla want to know the answer to that question.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was real hesitant to introduce her to my boys, and the one reason is I cared about their feelings also.
Okay.
You know, these are grown men now, but they still are my kids. Those are my kids, my
That's
babies,
right,
and
babies.
I only had 2, and they only knew me for being with one woman, their mother. They never seen me with nobody else. So you know,
wasn't having people in and out your house.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh. Well, they got to meet us one day, you know, and I think Shayla would come over and she would come over, and then when my son come home from school or something, we know he's coming down to the school, she would take our clothes and go back home. So
like teenagers, you know what I'm saying?
And so
like his daddy coming home. I got to get out of here.
It was December 20.
Yes.
My son came home with
We know some days.
his fiance, and but they wasn't fiance, they were still college sweethearts.
Okay.
But they both was working in Texas, and he came home and he loved to go through my closet and see what I got, you know, because we the same size and height, and he liked the oldest one, and he liked to take stuff that he don't belong to him without asking sometimes. And so he saw some female clothes in there. He was like, "Mom, my clothes still in here?" I said, "No, I gave your I packed all your mother's stuff up, you know, the other year, you know." And he said, "Dad, there's some female clothes right here. You not wearing these?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "Oh man, she don't never clothes like that." So I had to tell her, I said, "Hey, that's Shayla. That's my friend.
That's
you know how
my
we
friend.
say
Yeah,
our friend.
yeah.
He said, "Dad, oh, okay. But Dad, we gonna meet her?
Oh.
You know, we could get a chance to meet her."
Okay.
And they, my son, they loved her from the start, from
Day
the
one.
first day one. I mean, I loved her, but I, you know, wanted to see how they feel about it, you know, and because they feeling didn't matter, but if they didn't like it, it would still the relationship would have went on. But I was glad that, you know, and fortunate that our kids, even to this day now, when they were my youngest son and her second daughter, those two argue. You think they were brothers and sisters all their life.
Yeah.
They
Like
get in,
kids.
they debate all the time. Both of them think they know it all, but they debate all the time, and you think they're like just was siblings all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And they talk, and you know, it was just like the Brady Bunch was the right bunch, you know, and the 6 kids, you know. So and it was wonderful, and that's how I knew, because Shayla just she knew my needs before I even said anything.
Say
you
that
know?
again.
She
Say that
knew
again.
my needs before I even say anything, and it was like, wow, she read my mind, you know, and she would do the things that you're supposed to do for your better half, you know, and she loved to have me around. I loved to have her around, and we could spend all this time together and don't get tired of each other. And I think during COVID, I was sick.
You got sick. I remember
I
that.
got sick, and
She sent me a picture in the hospital.
oh my gosh, I was at Howard Hospital, and you know, back then they treat you like you had some kind of crazy disease, and they was like, COVID, positive COVID. Everybody was jumping out the way while I was going out the back door. I was like, oh my God, is this the end? I'm gonna die after this. And, so I went out the back door, and they told her, she met me around the front and back. I said, Shayla, you probably want to just take me home and let me be by myself, because you got the girls, you know. And she was like, well, I'm already around you. I got the quarantine too. So Jansen, he got the girls, him and his wife. Tanika, they got the girls, and they had the girls with them. And because I didn't want nobody else to get sick. I didn't want her to get sick.
Yeah.
And,
she was like, I'm already with you
yeah,
now,
and so she stayed there and took care of me, man. And I'm telling you, when you have the COVID and you can't breathe, Holly, and you just sick, you can't even hold a conversation. But she still was there with me, you know. And
so that was your first encounter of the vow in sickness and in health.
yes, she was
That
there
was the
with me.
first.
She didn't say, okay, if you survive, I'll talk to you later. No, she was there with me the whole time. She would put me in the car and ride me around. She would let me sit in the house. She would just put me in the car and ride around. We stayed away from everybody, but we'd just ride around, get fresh air, come back, and we knew right then that, hey, this is the one.
This is the one.
But I still was skeptical.
Of
I
course.
still was skeptical. I think Shayla took me to probably about 20 weddings, and while we was dating, and I was like, man, she really tried to tell me what she wanted to do. So
We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes.
but I knew that
You
she
knew.
was the one.
You knew. Fun fact, I remember y'all, because we used to worship together, and we used to have praise team rehearsal on a Thursday. And this particular Thursday, Shayla came in, like she came in with a little bit of extra, like where you going? And so Shayla was like, y'all can go ahead and finish practicing, but I'm gone. She's like, I'm gone. Y'all, Shayla flew out that church like, do what y'all gotta do, but I'm gone.
Yeah.
So and I say that to say this. So how long did you guys date, and did you guys date in private or in secret? Because there's a difference.
I think, okay, I'm going to be
How long
honest
did
with
you date?
you. When I first met Shayla, I told her, hey, I'm going through a divorce, right?
Right.
And, that's one of the oldest lines when a man is like, kind of running playing the field and stuff like that. He said he's going through the divorce. And probably about a month later, I think she called me and asked me, are you going, you getting ready for work? And I said, no, I got to go to the courthouse. She said, what you got to go to the courthouse for? At this time, I never met any of her friends, at this time, nobody. And I said, you remember I told you I'm going through a divorce.
Going through the process, yeah.
And I got to go today before the courts close to finalize this divorce. And I guess she was silent for a while. She said, how you feel?
Wow.
And I told her, I said, well, because she could kind of tell I was still kind of down, because I felt like, hey, I'm failing. I failed, and even though I was over the marriage, it was the fact that, hey, this is a covenant that I made with God.
It's a failure to you.
Yeah, to God, and I made this covenant to Him, and now I'm about to end it. But my life, I know that out there, my life is still set for me. My path is gonna be ordered, but she wanted to know how I was feeling, you know, how my feelings was. And I went on and ended that before the courts closed, and well, we dated. Ooh.
How long did y'all date before marriage?
5 years.
5 years. And during that 5 years, was it just, you know what, let's just have this space just for you and me only, or just a close few that knew you guys just wanted just to protect what you had? Was it ever that moment with you guys, or was it always, you know, out in the open with everybody?
I think, you know, we went out in the open because I was like, hey, this is the only woman I'm with, you know, so I want to share everything. I'm not young.
Because everybody does it different with dating.
I wasn't like no 20-year-old or nothing, you know, like, hey, man, you ain't getting no younger, so, you know.
Now, I was like, you know.
A little reserved.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know, because don't have me out here in these streets, you know, looking stupid, for real.
She
you was
did
protective. There was, you had some protective layer on. Right.
Because just because you release yourself from somebody, don't mean that they release themselves from you.
Shayla, I need you to repeat that. Say it to the kids.
Just because you release yourself from somebody, don't mean that they have released themselves from you.
Well.
True. And that was,
so, you know.
You know, once someone realize that the grass ain't green on the other side.
That's right.
They will try to come back into your life, but I wasn't happy. You know, I was done. You know, that part of my chapter, my life was closed. It wasn't open back. It wasn't gonna be no remix or nothing on it. And so I was ready to go on with my life. You know.
How did you know that you were emotionally ready to commit? Commit to marriage before the engagement. How did you know you were emotionally ready?
Before the engagement?
Yeah. How did you know? Because it's a process.
Well, I think I knew she would throw out little signals to me, but I wasn't ready to get married.
He wasn't ready. Because we're talking about, you guys dated how long?
5. And I was...
Because some women like, baby, that's... Come on, what you doing now?
I was because what I went through.
What you went through.
I was like, I wasn't going to do this again. And it was times I was like, no, I'm not getting married. And then it was times like, I don't want to let her go. You know, this woman's a keeper. You know, she is totally different. And all of my friends, family members that met her, they loved her. And I got a close friend. Her name is Minister Renee Great. And we talk all the time. She's like a big sister to me.
Yeah.
And I would talk to her and I would say, Renee, what you think about Shayla? She'd say, Ty, she's the one. She's the one. I said, Renee, you know, but I'm waiting on that other side to come out, you know, the other side. And she would say, she would call my ex name. She said, oh no, that's totally different. You're not gonna see that. If you ain't saw it now, you're not gonna see it.
You're not gonna see it.
I said, you sure? She said, Ty, she's the one. And her husband, really, he would say, Ty, you got a good one now. You know, you got a good one now, man.
Ex-husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's saying
Renee's
husband.
Oh, Renee's husband.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I even met her ex.
Okay.
And we hit it off.
Y'all hit it off.
Because his father was
You'll find that
also.
more.
Man, they all
And,
like best friends.
His father, I was friend with his father's friends. They were, you know, a lot of the guys that he was in the military with, I was friends with them. You know, I worked with them at the civilian side and while I was in the military also. And we just hit it off. Wow. You know, we hit it off. And because I didn't have any hard feeling to him and he didn't have any to me because I was way after him and his, you know, the relationship was over with, you know. So we hit it off and I guess, you know, his daughters talk good about me all the time. And I didn't do it just for, that's just my nature. That's who I am. You know, I just treat people how I want to be treated too, you know, especially kids, you know, you don't hurt kids and stuff like that.
That's right.
And I could have been on the other side. Like I told you, I stayed because of my boys.
You stayed.
But someone else could have been also raising my kids too and could have been hurting them or either, you know, I don't know. You know, so I knew she was the one though.
So Shayla, excuse me, 5 years, that's a long time, sister. What made you just stay? I mean, I'm sure sometimes she was like, okay, come on now, bro. What's up? What's going on?
Well, at one point I was like that, and then I was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna let it be. We just gonna roll how we roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave well enough alone, as we say, or whatever." Because I was like, well, again, then you start, to say like,
Second guessing,
Lord,
right.
what? Am I not enough? Am I not?
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah.
You start thinking like, okay, so what is it? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Yeah.
Because I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But like I said, I just enjoyed him. So, honestly speaking, I would have waited. I would have waited some more. I would have. Yeah.
Because you knew his heart and everything that
Right.
had happened, so you knew that he was still healing.
Right.
Speaking of healing, do you believe, and I think we talked about this probably a couple months ago, Shayla, do you believe, because some people say before you enter into another relationship, make sure you heal completely. But do you believe that God can send you someone that can still add to your healing process?
Yes.
Most
And I think
definitely.
he definitely sent me something.
You
She
found
did.
healing in
Yes.
Shayla.
She went through it with me, while I was doing it. Because she understood it, because she went through it.
That's good.
And she was patient. She didn't try to push me or bully me or just try to say strong on me to let's get married.
Yeah.
She waited, and I knew she waited. That's how I knew she was the one. Her humility her spirit just was there for me, and when I needed it, and she knew when I was feeling a certain way. Also just dealing with PTSD, also anxiety and stuff like that. She was patient, and even the girls knew that too. So they would just come and give me love, and I was like, wow, this the love that I wanted, And I had my kids, but a man, you need more than that. You need love from your better half, a companion. Someone that everything I do was funny. She just loved everything about me, and I was like, wow. I guess He do it on His time, and
That's right.
yeah. So we waited, and she waited a while, so I knew she was the one.
Knew.
Yeah, because she was waiting, and I was like, you know what? I'm ready. But I still had in the back of my mind that I don't want to fail again. I don't want this. I want to make sure I'm doing it right this time, and that's what we did.
So before we talk about the chapter ready, engagement, let's talk about non-negotiables. Did you have any non-negotiables, period, regarding,
I think by the time, we got to where we knew we were going to be married, Wright's 7 years older than me.
Yes.
Six.
We just knew neither one of us were for foolishness. And we already, we're knocking on 100. So it was like, boy, you too old to be playing in the street, girl, you is too. So come on, let's just do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, because what you gonna be, a sugar daddy? Because you only gonna get older. But we never, that's something, we would laugh about or whatever. But it was nothing. We was like, well, we ain't gonna do this. Our main thing was that we always are just gonna make time for each other. We gonna be, and now, baby, I don't accept lunches. I don't accept dinners from the ladies. I be wanting to be with my man.
With your man.
I do.
Woo, I love it. I
do.
love it.
And of course, we have our time apart. And when I pull up,
but
and
you
I
enjoy
see
his company, enjoy
ain't
his
nobody
time.
in the driveway, I be like, yes, I do, because he do the same thing.
What's your
those
love
days.
language? What's your love language, Shayla? Well, actually, pause. What's Shayla's love language?
See, when you say love language,
As far as you have like gifts, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service. What do you think Shayla's love language is? We're gonna flip it.
I would say
She looking too.
affectionate. She was very affectionate.
Physical touch?
Physical touch.
Okay.
And
Quality time.
quality time. And our main thing is we always greet each other with a kiss.
Oh,
She never leave
leaves the
home
house
without a kiss before she go to work, because she leaves to go before I do. And we always greet each other with a kiss. And when she come home, we greet each other with a kiss.
And y'all, I've been on the phone with Shayla.
Yeah.
And okay, baby, give me a kiss.
And I grew up in a very affectionate. My mother was very affectionate.
I love
my
it. I love it.
sisters and brothers, very affectionate, and
I love it.
we always kiss and hug each other until we love each other. And my sons, she'll tell you, grown men now, we're very affectionate.
I love it.
I hug and I kiss.
They
my
see
boys.
it. They've
Yes.
seen it. I love it.
So to have someone that's very affectionate like that, oh man, I was eating that up. That's what I needed. I need that. And she know it.
And I remember
Yeah.
Shayla telling me that she had to get used to your affection with her, because you wasn't you. That's not how you grew up, right, Shayla?
Right, but this same right, I didn't.
Yeah.
And you know my
I know,
folks,
yeah.
good people, but they, you know,
Just different, raised different.
maybe because it was just too many of us.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just raised different.
But him too, he had to get used to, because he was used to my mama, but not my partner actually showing. And even I'll say I would invite him places, and he'd be like, "You want me to go with you?"
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, "Well, who else going?" You know,
He wasn't used to that.
I wasn't
to
used to
somebody showing him off.
I
You
wasn't
know,
used to
taking him out.
Yeah,
You know,
I was not used to that. I was never getting that.
What's his love language?
definitely physical touch and affirmation. Like, oh, babe, I like that. Yeah, turn around.
Come on.
Get that right there. Get all the colors. You know, he like, you like that? I love it. You know, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, because again, he wasn't used to that from his significant other saying those things. Yeah, his mom. Oh yeah, this is nice. You know, I didn't know her, but they tell me she kept him dressed to the nines. You know, so he used to that, but not his person telling him those things.
So, chapter engagement. Let's talk about it. Before we talk about it, I remember I think it was November of 2023, somewhere around in there. And Shay was like, yeah, we picked out the ring today. We got the ring today, but she didn't know when it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But she said, y'all picked out the ring.
We ready to pick out the ring.
So let's talk about, you got the ring. Now, I think I'm ready to do this. Because I was there, y'all. I was in the balcony. And fun fact, y'all, I was sitting way up there in that balcony. Thank you, Shayla, for my ticket. That was way up in the balcony. But I'm thankful for my ticket. And I was sitting there. And I was like, wait a minute. Something going to happen. I think Duke, I call Shayla Duke, y'all. She calls me Duke. I think Duke is getting proposed tonight. I just had that feeling because I recorded it.
And the one and only Miss Shayla. Hold up. Miss Shayla I tell you what, let the drummer describe it to you. Let the drummer describe it.
I knew it. She gonna get proposed tonight. I knew it, Shayla. I knew it.
You had no idea this is what happened. My baby looked at me doing this thing for a long time. And I called your daddy yesterday and I asked his permission. I told him how much you complete me. And I want to make all the memories with you. So we done stayed here for. And girl, I'm going to change your last name. So baby, Miss Shayla want to make you married.
I was like, she gonna get proposed. Let's talk about it, bro.
We looked at so many. I was looking at rings even when she didn't know I was looking at rings.
Oh.
And I think I've been to every jewelry store in Augusta, online. Oh my God. I was getting
Show the
so
ring, Shayla.
confused with looking at rings. And I finally got her to come with me just to look.
Just to look. Okay.
Just to see what she would like.
Okay.
And so behold, everything I looked at, she didn't like. So she liked the one she saw. We picked that one out. And we actually had our jeweler, she actually helped us pick out that one right here. And thanks to her, I got her name. Tamika from 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐲.
Okay.
Right? 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐲.
Keys.
Yeah. Ks Jewelers. Yeah. Yeah, I got confused though. And so Shayla sings with Tony Howard.
Yes, she does.
Review. And he was having the Motown review and me and Tony, you know, I would call Tony just to talk. Like his spirit, you know, and we talking and I said, Tony, you know, I'm gonna propose to Shayla. I just don't know when, man. You got any ideas how I can do it, you know? And Tony said, why don't you do it at the show? Woo! I said, Tony, come on, man. This is y'all money maker. This is your biggest show of the year. The producer not gonna want nobody to take time to propose at this show.
It was beautiful, y'all.
And he said, no, man, we gonna talk to him and we gonna get this done. He said, and then me and Tony came up with different ways we gonna do it. We had so many different ways. I think we just played off the ear this time.
It was
he
perfect.
Said, yeah.
It was
he
perfect.
said, well, you know what? When I start introducing them, you can come out there.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna get to Sheila. I'm gonna skip over her. I'm getting her last name. Like I don't know her name, her last name. And I said, Tony, she probably gonna have some choice words in front of you, everybody for you. You act like you don't remember her name. And we started laughing about that. And the producer came to me and we was trying to hide it. And I think I mentioned it to Jermaine. I said, Jermaine, I'm proposing tonight. And he's the drummer, buddy of mine, friend of mine, and a drummer for them. And he said, what? You know, that's how Jermaine, you sure you could do it? You got a ring? I said, I got the ring, Jermaine. He said, okay, hey man, do it. You know, and I was so nervous. But for some reason, I was praying the whole time that God give me the strength to get out here and don't choke up.
You did a wonderful job.
And I didn't even know that the producer was putting our names on the screen. I didn't know that on the Scantron. And it was the perfect proposal.
How did you feel, Miss Shayla? Because I was there.
Well, you know, he threw us off. We have scripts, you know, so you got this book that you're going by. But he telling us something that ain't on the book. So, you know, as, you know, paid thespians here, you know, we like, right, that ain't, this date is tight right here. This say, you know, X, Y, and Z. He like, no, Tony told me to tell y'all. So we looking at him
what's
like,
going on? Like,
boy, I'm trying to get this money at the end of the night. Like, you ain't finna get me fired. And we ain't even finished this show, you know. And he was like, no, I'm telling y'all gonna come out. And so we like, what is he talking about? You know, me and the ladies or whatever. So I was like, man, come on, let's just go on. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, we smiling, because, you know, we didn't know what was going on. But, like, Tony really got me, like he was saying, when he act like he didn't know my name, because I was like, you done got out here in front of all these white people, and you gonna act like you don't know my name. You know, that's, you know, I'm like, come on now. You know, and I was just kind of like, you know, what is, you know, surprised. Yeah.
it looked absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
She was so surprised after the proposal. This was like in intermission of the second part of the show. She was ready to go home.
Yeah. And they were like, girl, we still got half a show left to go.
I'm done.
I was like, oh. Yeah. I had to come back.
You had to kind of come back.
Performance mode, because I had checked out.
Also, I called her father.
Yeah.
And I told her father, and I asked his permission first. You know, these things that I think that needed to happen, you know, to do everything the right way. And I talked to my father-in-law, and he blessed off what he said. I'm glad and honored to have you as a son, and that's all I needed right there. So I don't think he didn't even tell his wife, because we know our mama ain't gonna be able to keep it. She wasn't gonna be able to hold it in, so we didn't tell her. And he told me he wasn't gonna tell her. And at the show, I think when I proposed to Shayla, I actually proposed to her mother at the same time, you know, so.
I heard y'all are best friends. I heard y'all best friends.
She already told me I was just too old for, so she couldn't date me.
Okay, she couldn't date
my only competition.
Okay.
And it was just the perfect proposal.
It's beautiful.
Everything was just in place like it's supposed to be, you know. And I know that's nothing but God that made all these things happen. And because I'm not a romantic guy like that, you know. But being with Shayla, she makes love so easy.
Woo! Say that again, Tanya. She makes love so easy.
Just loving, just so easy. And I became this whole different person with
Come
her.
on
You
now.
know, she
That's
makes
what
me
love
better.
does.
Yeah, she makes me better.
She makes you better.
Yeah, she do. And now I'm all romantic and everything now. So I can come up with ideas and stuff now.
When you
so,
delight
yeah.
yourself in the Lord, He will what? Give you
Desires
desires of your heart.
That's right.
So now we're in chapter Mr. and Mrs. 𝐂𝐢𝐢𝐺 Wright. We're what, 2 months in?
2 months in.
Y'all, how has it been? You waking up to your wife every day. Y'all washing and showering, feeding. I mean, talk to us.
I thought nothing was gonna change. Cause at the time it was perfect. I didn't want nothing to change.
It's just
But
added to it.
It feels good to say my wife now.
My wife.
I'm not to say my girlfriend. Cause I think I told you I said we just too
talking
old.
like
to
an
be-
old man to my lady.
Yeah,
Don't-
cause I'm like,
yeah.
we just too old to be girlfriend and boyfriend.
Right.
Shayla. And so
Stop.
it feels so good to tell someone, my wife now. And
What does that mean to you?
it means everything. It means I belong to her, she belongs to me, and we are one together. There's no two, no more. We are unified as one. Even after all that time of dating, we still wasn't unified, and I wanted that. I wanted, so if anything was to happen, she was the one you have to go through.
She was the one. That's
and
right.
vice versa. Hey, that's my wife. So.
And I say that because, today, y'all, we live in a world where married today, divorced tomorrow.
Yes.
Married today, divorced next week. I really don't think everyone takes marriage seriously because some people say, yeah, I want to get married, but you're not called.
Yes.
I believe you have to be called. What are your thoughts?
I definitely believe that.
There's a call. Marriage is a ministry.
It is. It is a ministry, and it takes work. It takes a lot of work.
Daily.
Yes. Every day. You have to work on it. So the first sign of any trouble is some people just call it quits, or they don't take it seriously. They think, we get married on paper, but I could go out and fool around with someone else. No, it's not. That's not marriage,
You need to add anything to that, Shayla?
No, agreed.
So 2 more questions because this is so good. So 𝐂𝐢𝐢, I want you to speak to that brother that's on the other side of this camera, and I want you to speak to him heart to heart. Maybe he is one that is struggling right now. Maybe he's in a marriage, has been in it for years, and he's just staying there because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's already divorced, and because of what has happened in the past, he's afraid to embrace love again. He's afraid of what love could possibly look like because he was never loved. What would you say to him today to encourage his heart?
I would tell that brother that love endures all, and love is not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to be a punishment. And if you're in an abusive marriage, because men can be in an abusive marriage also, and it doesn't have to be physically, it can be emotionally. And your mind can just be tied up where you can't even think about anything, and you can't even think clearly. So I would say, hey, you have to do a self-assessment of yourself and ask God to guide you, order your steps, because you need to make this decision. And this is probably the most important decision you're ever gonna make in your life, is to end a marriage. That's the death. When you end a marriage, that's the death of a marriage right there. And it's a hard decision to make. And I would tell him to make that decision, but don't do it hastily. Don't do it on emotions. Do it the right way, and it's the right and the wrong way to do things.
Shayla, what would you say to the sister who's in that place of, I think I want to be married again, but I'm not sure because I've been hurt, or I don't know if I want to do that, but I think I want to, but I'm just not sure. What would you say to her?
I would just tell her to definitely do a deep dive, like Wright said, within yourself. Make sure you know your worth, firstly, and know that there is someone out there for you.
Yeah.
And don't think, because I got the kids, and I'm getting old, or I can't have any more kids, whatever it may be, or whatever. God has someone out there for you. If you just wait and seek Him And like Wright said, just let him order your steps. That person will come to be your helpmeet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now let's switch it. So to the person that's already dating and they're getting to know or whatever that looks like, and they're like, I don't know, it's just something about her, or it's just something about him. I think it's more than just a friend. What would you say to them? Like, it could be something more than just that.
Girl, go get your man.
Say that again, Shayla.
Girl, go get your
Girl,
man.
go get your man. I like that. He said, girl, go get your man.
Go get it. Don't let him get away.
Ooh, don't let him get away.
Yes. And
So it's okay for a woman to knock on a man's door? Is it okay? Because, you know,
I think it is, but now, y'all stop all this proposing to these men.
Oh!
Y'all
I
stop
like
doing
this.
all that.
Come on.
But no, it is okay for
It's
her
okay?
to knock on his door. I think it is.
Why you say that? Because maybe he's afraid or reluctant. So maybe
That could be it too. Or maybe maybe he just didn't know how to say it.
so
maybe
you think
not
it's
that
okay for
vocal.
a woman to reveal themselves to a man?
It is. I told Wright I love him first.
Yeah, she sure did.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't say nothing back. You just received. You didn't say nothing back, did you?
I didn't say anything, but I received it.
You received
I
it.
just
You
received it.
felt it, but
I
you
felt it,
didn't
yeah.
say anything.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Right then, I knew she
It's
was
a whole nother
not the one that
conversation.
hide her feelings.
Mm.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Okay, Taya. How about you?
I would say, look, baggage. You have to, before you can love again, you have to be, you're going through a healing process, but you got to be ready to love again.
Okay.
And you got to be ready and willing to be loved. So I would say, hey, don't let those baggage hold you off from having that love in your life. Because you're taking those old baggage in and comparing her or him to your old relationship, and that's not fair.
Okay.
That's not fair to them. Give them a chance. Give love a chance. And it won't steer you wrong if it's true love. If God is in the center of it, it would not be wrong.
Say that again.
God has to be in the center. And once you do that, hey, don't be afraid to love, because it's good.
It's
It
good.
is very
Ooh,
good.
Is it
It's
good, y'all? It's good. Because
This-
I'm over here waiting,
this
and
love
I'm
is
believing.
good.
I'm believing God again.
This
I'm
that love that's
believing.
good for your health.
Ooh, good for your wellness.
It's good for the wellness of your body. I'm telling you, it is. And your mind. I mean, it's sometimes you.
It's goodness.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes you get to the point when you're going through it for so long.
Yeah.
A lot of people get to the point they don't think they're made to be loved or to love someone. And at that time, your mind is in a whole nother way, your world. But then God will come through when you don't know He's coming
When you
through.
least expect
And
it.
when you least expect it, He's coming there and He's sending that one for you.
So, what would you say? Last question, Taya. Let's go ahead and start with you. What would you say to the younger version of Warren Taya Wright before marriage, divorce, based on what you know now about love? What would you say to him?
I would say, love yourself.
Okay.
Love God first, and then love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't expect for no one to love you. You listen to those ones there for you also. Like, hey, they say, listen to your mother, listen to your moms. If you got a good, strong, God-fearing mother or father, listen to them also. They're not on this earth for this long just for nothing. I mean, they're here to guide you. And I had a good mother. But I didn't listen, to that one particular situation. My significant other got pregnant, and I wanted to do the right thing.
Okay.
And, that's how the way we was brought up.
Okay.
And I didn't have to get married, but I did.
But you did.
Yeah.
Shayla, what would you say to the younger version? Then was Shayla Walden. What would you say to her about love? Based on what you know now.
Letting God be the center of gravity and all that other stuff. If it's love you're seeking, if it's, you moving up at work, let God be the center of it all, and all that stuff will come. Don't be chasing nothing. The bag, the man, the woman, whatever it is. Don't be chasing nothing.
Y'all have thoroughly blessed me on today.
Thank you.
Completely. I'm so full. I don't even know what to do right now. Thank y'all so much for
Thank you for
coming
having
to the Room of Goodness. Thank y'all for sharing your love. Chapters, because it's been chapters, right? Chapters of love on the Morning Tea with Goodness podcast. I pray nothing but the blessings of the Lord that it is continue to chase y'all down. And I'm so happy for you guys. And congratulations
Thank
again.
you so much.
So family, I hope that y'all have enjoyed today Morning Tea with Goodness, and it's my hope that it has added some goodness to your day and that your cup was filled. And if it has, I want you to share the goodness that you heard today with somebody else so they too can experience Morning Tea with Goodness, the place where we share all things that will help you be well spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Until next time, I see you guys later.